If I had to quantify what the Floyd and Gwendolyn Bryant Foundation does, to me, we're selling hope. We're selling hope for the future.
So we realized that God calling for us was to truly make a mark that cannot be erased by impacting the kids, by impacting the families, and all.
I love their approach. It's like building things to build upon. You give a man a fish, he eats. You teach him how to fish, they eat for a lifetime. And that's kind of right up my alley. And so being a part of this has just been such a joy for me.
We had a vision, a mission of what are we going to leave this world? And how could we leave it better than we found it?
The Floyd and Gwendolyn Bryant Foundation, recognized by the AIB Network for its service to the community.
I am delighted to present the Spirit Award that recognizes individuals and organizations in the community making a difference throughout Atlanta. It's organizations like you that touch the lives of our children and adults to help mission-driven work matter.
The Floyd and Gwendolyn Bryant Foundation, the subject of this edition of Making a Difference. When Morehouse College freshman Christopher Lambry walks by the campus mural of notable African Americans, this poli-sci major with his sights set on law school knows that he too has a shot at greatness.
For the opportunity, the financial support, the mental support, the spiritual support the foundation has given me thus far.
When Dung Tran first came to the United States from Vietnam, he was in middle school. He didn't speak but a few words of English. Now he's at Washington University in St. Louis, studying economics and international relations.
The scholarship that been given me to be able to pursue all the opportunity, like you say, giving back to paying it forward.
A summer camp opened Zoe Hill's eyes to career options and different cultures.
You get to have fun but also learn, and there's different experiences and interactions that not a normal camp would have.
Financial literacy is budgeting, managing your finances, and preparing for that unexpected, okay?
And these high school students, members of the Tri-Cities High School Student Government Association in East Point, Georgia, they're learning insights into investments.
Whether you put it in an institutional investor, we're going to how to grow that money and how you can calculate how much money you have.
And then there are dozens of married couples learning how to manage their finances and make their marriages stronger. They and so many others are among those touched by the Floyd and Gwendolyn Bryant Foundation. Their lives changed for the better, setting them on a course for success.
Me and my wife, we are really into education. And of course, she's an educator. She's a special ed teacher.
And one of the things that we both agreed upon was that we just loved education. And so we began to think about how we could capture our love for education and help the community.
I think kids need encouragement. And if we don't encourage them, what happens? We'll lose them to gangs. We'll lose them to situations that are dire. We'll lose them to challenges that their parents don't want to see them face.
We've taken that dream full throttle to encompassing the whole masses of making sure that we support young women, young men in cultural diversity, making sure that they have the opportunity that we had. And so what we've started was marriage sustainability and making sure that all kids are culturally diverse, that they're well-rounded, and that they have experiences beyond what they get with the regular education.
Her father focused on education. He was believed to be a member of some organizations like the 100 Black Men and so on and on. He had relationship with them and so much because his heart was to encourage kids and all to make them become better. Because kids, as you know, become what they see.
My husband, Deacon Benjamin Charlie, and his nickname is Sonny. He's my life. He was my life. His main goal in life was to see that the children had an education. even within our church, within our neighborhood, he would go out and he would talk to them and do whatever they need to do. They could always go to Mr. Sonny.
My father passed away. His name is Deacon Benjamin Charlie. And upon his passing, I said to Floyd, I really have to do something to honor Dad. We started thinking about how we could do that, and he said, hey, you're doing all this giving, you're doing all this work, why don't we start our own foundation? So the Floyd and Gwen Bryant Foundation was started, and we said our first venture would be to start a scholarship in remembrance of my dad.
I wasn't one to have a lot of influences growing up as a child. I kind of see myself as a trailblazer, if you will.
When Chris Lambrey was looking to go to college, a mentor from 100 Black Men of South Metro Atlanta told him he'd be a great fit for Morehouse. But he wasn't sure how he was going to make that happen.
And so my family, they weren't kind of used to all the little nuanced things that happen when you prepare to go to school, such as finding scholarships or just different things like that.
He was more or less on his own.
Me sitting up late hours at night searching for scholarships, or coming from me doing a lot of internships and networking and meeting a lot of people.
His focus and perseverance, along with a scholarship from the Floyd and Gwendolyn Bryant Foundation, made what might have once appeared impossible, possible.
So he honestly tells me, just do great at Morehouse, do good things.
And so he has, including being elected a freshman class senator in the Student Government Association. A Bryant Foundation scholarship also made all the difference for Dung Tran.
It's a kind of relief being able to make sure that my finances for the upcoming year and following that will be taken care of.
The beauty and gift of a Bryant Foundation college scholarship is that it is unrestricted.
We don't put like a label on what the scholarship has to be used for, because the students that we're reaching, they need some discretionary funds. I mean, as you learn from interviewing the applicants for the scholarship, some of them are coming from families where their parents didn't graduate from high school, and we're sending them to college. So if they need a laptop, if they need bus fare, if they need new outfits to get to school, that $1,000 can go there. And then we're building a network now that we've heard from some of those recipients, which just fills our heart, because it's the work we're doing. It's spreading the legacy, spreading the joy.
And Tran, like other students, also received a number of tangible gifts from the foundation.
For me, it was like the pillow and the blankets, different kind of stuff for you to carry on with you.
We're really building a foundation of them paying it forward. The kids that are going to college now, one of the stipulations is that they come back, or what are you going to do for your community when you graduate? And that, to me, is building meaning and purpose, a sustainable skill for lifetime.
Inspired by the Bryants, Dung Tran is already paying it forward as an instructor with a first-generation investor group.
Basically, they teach financial literacy to high school students in marginalized district around the St. Louis area and around the nation.
It fills my heart to know that if we could just be a small stepping stone for these students to have a better chance, a better life, and then they in turn spread to other students because they feel the love.
During the COVID pandemic, the Floyd and Gwendolyn Bryant Foundation made it possible for Murrow High School students to continue learning. They gave students cell phones. That's when then high school principal Dr. Pamela Pitts first heard of the foundation.
What they do is so important because they don't just give money, or the foundation does not just give money to students. They are involved with the students. They expose our students to things that they're not accustomed to. They give of their time. They give valuable resources to our students.
So remember, institution investor, these investment firms, you can actually cut out the middleman. Who would be the middleman? The bank. And go and open up your own investment. Matter of fact, you all got checking accounts, right? How much you think you get on your checking account, the interest? You don't know. You need to know.
The foundation is also educating students and adults about financial literacy.
I'm going to show you how to calculate when you put money in the bank, the interest you would have, and how long it takes for that money to double. I'm going to give you a formula to that extent. So when you go to the bank and they tell you how much interest they're paying you on this particular money, or institutional investor, I'm going to tell you how to calculate it to show when that money would double. Because you want your money to return, right? Okay, good. You know, when you go through school, let's face it, they teach you traditionally reading, writing, and arithmetic, but they never teach you anything about managing your checkbook. I remember when I was in college, they gave me a credit card. I felt like it was free money because I would just use it. And then finally I would think about, you know, I got to pay this back. So that's a concern, you know, and these are kids that are very smart kids, very smart parents and all, but yet at the same time, you know, they would get themselves in financial difficulty.
To inspire the students, they're also introduced to role models, people who've been successful financially as well as through giving back to the community. These are important lessons for life, free of charge.
Their diversity, to be able to deal with children of all ages, being able to give out so much information free. That's what blows everyone's mind.
One of my students brought in $300 tennis shoes. And I love one of the approaches when we had them take a class, $300 worth of a stock. How much would that be in 30 years? That's Floyd Bryant's wonderful idea. You know, really just looking at financial literacy, communication, respect. And that is that's what keeps me coming back.
If we can teach these kids confidence, if we can teach these kids to understand the importance of financial literacy, we can teach them the importance of credit, or we could just keep little simple things like, if you make $100, don't spend 110. If you spend more than you make, you're gonna have yourself in an unprecarious position. If you spend less and make more, it's gonna help you. You will never be broke a day in your life.
Those kinds of life lessons are also part of the Foundation's summer camp.
So one of the things that evolved from our scholarship endeavors is making sure that students had that exposure. So we started a summer camp. Our camp goes for 2 weeks where we have people from all different backgrounds that come in and share their career path, whether it's AI or if it's just becoming a doctor, but not just that they own a franchise of different doctor offices.
I enjoyed the exposure that I was able to the different careers, and I enjoyed the different sports we got to play, just having fun and making new friends.
Campers also learned to believe in themselves and their potential.
We were able to learn about how to be an entrepreneur, what it takes, and how you what you could be able to study in college.
Campers also learned not just to prepare for their financial future, but for disaster.
One of the things we did was we made emergency preparedness, different kits for we have water packets where the water it has a shelf life of 5 to 7 years.
As a parent, you're always thinking about how do I help guide my child to becoming their best self, right? Whether they want to be an entrepreneur, whether they want to be someone who's in science, or whether there's, whatever that path is, the sooner you can get them exposed to it, the better chance of them connecting and then pursuing it.
We've had more than one parent tell us about this summer camp experience. I'm so thankful you went over life skills. I tell my children all the time, how much things cost and things like that, but they didn't really get it until you guys were talking about it, like how much a one-bedroom apartment will cost when you grow up, or how exponentially, your salary can climb if you have a college education.
And part of my purpose is to begin to give people things that they can do outside of the normal basketball, football, baseball. My students are always like, I'm gonna play baseball. I'm like, what's your backup plan? What's your other backup plan? Because there's more to it. So we do tennis and golf and eating at a restaurant, things that we may take for granted in a higher economic environment.
The camp also aims to expose young people to the world with field trips to restaurants from a variety of cultures.
I would say it's a great camp. You get to have fun but also learn, and there's different experiences and interactions that not a normal camp would have. Like we were able to go on different field trips and like experience different parts of the world that we weren't expected to. Also just like normal things like going outside and doing arts and crafts that's not limited to like different fun experiences. You also get to learn and have fun, which is very cool. The
Bryant camp it's a jewel. I recommend it. My kids will go back as often as it's offered. And each time I know they're going to learn something new, and they're going to have connectivity with some of the people that they maybe have met years before, or they meet new people, because that's important too, to meet people in a space that minds are expanding.
The Bryants have witnessed firsthand the transformation the summer camp can make in a young person's life.
Jimmy came to the last camp and he was appeared to be introverted and all. And I saw him walking around the track by himself, and I'd say, hey, mind if I mention something to you? He said, yes, sir. I said, you know what? There's a lot of greatness in you, man. I know there is. And we're gonna have a Shark Tank, and we're gonna have 4 teams, and you're gonna lead one of the teams. Are you prepared? I think I am. So, when you pour that into them, if someone believe in them, it would come out.
He was able to put together a project, our center focus project, and at the end of that project, he was presenting to a panel of judges, explaining his AI technology, and he just blossomed. He came out of his shell. He was excited. He encouraged other students to do well, and it just warmed my heart to see.
Answering the call to serve has inspired a number of people to get involved in the Floyd and Gwendolyn Bryant Foundation.
When they started the Floyd and Gwendolyn Bryant Foundation, it was absolutely a dream come true for me, because my whole being as an occupational therapist is to help people overcome or find accommodations for barriers, and social, emotional, and physical. A lot of the students I work with have trauma in their lives. And we talked about how, like Maslow says, you have to build the foundation. Education, learning is here. If these needs aren't met here, it's almost impossible. The window doesn't open.
This foundation is more about giving, not just financially, but giving students the opportunity to have experiences that they would never have by walking alongside the student, assisting parents, assisting couples with marriage counseling. But also, they're doing this from a faith-based background. They have a love for everyone that they encounter, and all they want to do is make a child a better person, a better citizen.
So I'm a ditch digger, and I'm happily one child at a time. And I always say each day, let me just help one. The Bryant Foundation is a wonderful vehicle to do that. We're looking at building foundational skills for a successful future.
I'd just like to really thank the Bryants for offering a camp that is affordable to everyone, but also provides things that you have to really search hard to be able to provide for your child, and making that easy and accessible.
It fills my heart to know that if we could just be a small stepping stone for these students to have a better chance, a better life, and then they in turn spread to other students because they feel the love.
I want this to be a national movement that, all the negativity and all of that, if we could just for 10 minutes every hour, just stop and be grateful for what we have. And that's what I see with the foundation, is that we're not lecturing.
So it's all completely word of mouth. We tell people in communities, schools, neighborhoods. We go to neighborhood meetings, community meetings, churches. Everywhere that we can, we share our story. Even if we're on a cruise ship, we're sharing our story about the little vision that was started, that has now blossomed and is being manifested now. So we're just grateful.
We know that God has placed us to do the things that He wants us to do. We might be slow, but we're going up higher and higher each year, each day.
I have so much faith in them. I've seen them start at the very bottom, trying to start a camp that has 50 people, and the next year they have 100 people. I expect for them to have 200, and before it's over, I expect their camp to be 1,000 people, 1,000 children that will be able to be just exposed to all types of things. It's just unbelievable.
Our dream is that we would be able to reach as many kids as possible all across the country. We started here in Georgia, we're going to South Carolina, and what we want to do is to be able to offer affordable summer camps to communities that don't get that exposure.
They follow the students that they give scholarships to throughout their college experience. And the kids are so grateful that they reach back out and they want to become givers. They want to volunteer and help other people. So again, my hope for the future for this foundation is not just in Georgia, that it stretches throughout the United States and everyone knows about this foundation.
Minister Floyd Bryant and his wife have honestly given so much support thus far as my journey at Morehouse continues. They've called in, they've given me words of encouragement. I've called them for just advice and support. And when things happen, I reach out to them asking for advice and time, especially Minister Bryant. He really jokes a lot and it helps.
I know I made a difference, and we are making a difference collaboratively. And we just need more positive messages. And everything about what we do is positive. We're teaching them how to teach others to pay it forward someday.
That's something scholarship recipients are already doing.
I want to utilize the opportunity to continue on to pass on, whether that be financial literacy or job opportunity or working for a foundation in the future. I want to be able to continue to help people in whatever way and skill set I have.
I'd like to thank Minister Bryant. I don't know if he truly knows how significant he has been in my life thus far, but he really has played a pivotal role in my life through financial means, spiritual means, moral means. I mean, you name it, he's been there. He's definitely shown up and shown out, honestly. I couldn't ask for more, and I hope that as I continue to grow and matriculate through Morehouse, that he's right there alongside me, supporting me, and just I get to have him as somebody to have in my ear.
We're making sure that no community is left out. Everyone is welcome. Everyone has something to offer, and everybody can see what their full potential is. And that way we get to give back, and they don't realize how much they're giving to us to be able to feed back into them. So our vision is to be worldwide, but we want to start here at home.
And they're teaching others a lesson that reflects the words of the author known as Mark Twain.
The most important things about life is two things, and that's the day you was born and the day you realize why.
They're also guided by the example of Deacon Charlie.
Every time we give a scholarship, because we know he's in heaven with God looking down, we realize at that point in time, he's smiling. And what he would say to me, like he said one early morning in Woodford, South Carolina, he woke me up one morning and said, "Okay, son, are you ready?" And at this point in time, every day we go out to make a difference. I look up because I know he's watching.
He used to drive the Sunday school bus, and he would go and pick up kids in the community. And he did the same thing that we're doing. We're just doing it to more kids, right? So he would go pick up the kids. He would talk to them along the way, on the way back to church, on the way back from church. So what are your plans? What are you planning to do? Where are you planning to go to school? And he would just put those seeds in them, not telling them, oh, you need to go to school. He just asked, what are you planning to do? And so Floyd and I and our wonderful board, we're doing the same thing now. We're planting those seeds in young men and young women to say, what is it that you're planning to do? What great things are you going to accomplish? So I think he would say, just continue the work. You can't stop. You've got a lot of work to do.